Hi, welcome to another session of Mesilat Yesharim, the path, the way, the path of the just or the upright. We are in Biur Prishut, in the section that deals with Prishut. How many of you have never heard me speak about this topic before? Raise your hand. Okay. All right. Okay. How many of you have an idea what Mesilat Yesharim is about? So the rest do not. Okay, so let me give you a quick run about what this book is about so that you understand why he says what he says. The Ramchal, Rabbi Moshe Chaim Luzzatto, says in the book that the purpose of human existence is to experience pleasure. Would anybody disagree with him? No. He says the ultimate pleasure that human beings can experience is a connection to God. And in order, and your pleasure that you would experience by connecting to God is proportional to the level of your moral perfection. The higher you are morally and ethically, the greater your connection is to God, and hence the greater the amount of pleasure you will feel or experience. So the way to perfect ourselves morally, to become better and better people, is through the performance or keeping the mitzvot. Two types of mitzvot, of commandments. Prescriptive and prohibitive. What's prescriptive? Prescriptive. You get a prescription. What does it mean? Do this, right? I prescribe to you this. You should do this. Prohibitive?
Don't do this.
Don't do this. Don't do this. By these two categories, we perfect ourselves morally and become better and better people. And through our process of becoming better, we can connect to God better. And hence the experiences that we have with God are greater and more powerful. Okay? That is what the book is about. And he explains to us how we can actually achieve this perfection. The first moral quality that we should adopt is called zehirut, which is carefulness, which means that we take account before we act. What are we doing? How does this fit with what the Torah tells us? Should we be doing what we're doing? And once you do it, you evaluate, did you do it the best way? Okay? The next moral quality is called zrizut. I, up to now, translated it as quickness. One translation says alacrity. That is the opposite of procrastination. That's what I meant by quickness. So he says when you have an opportunity to perform a mitzvah, you seize the opportunity and you perform it. You get on it right away. Right? You want me to say it? I could say it. Carpe diem. Right? Seize the carpet. Or seize the day. No. Carpe diem means seize the day. Or somebody in Nebraska said, seize the carp. Right? Carpe. Right. All right. So that is the idea that when you have a sense, a feeling, a thought of doing a mitzvah, you want to do a good deed, help an old lady cross the street, you do it. You don't say, somebody else. Or, no, not really. No, when you're sitting on a light rail and an old man comes on the train, you be the first to get up. Don't be the third guy. Or say, somebody else is going to get up for him. No, you do the mitzvah. And when you start doing the mitzvah, this moral virtue of zrizut says that you're going to complete it. You're not going to give up in the middle. You're not going to give up in the middle. If you decided that you're going to serve a meal to 100 people, you don't quit after the 5th guy. Okay? The next level of moral perfection is called cleanliness. Does not mean clean your room. It means that you remove from your personality certain moral problems that we all share. And they fall in 5 different areas. The first area has to do with stealing. There are lots of different ways that we can steal, that we steal. We steal time from our employers. We take things without permission. All sorts of things. We have to clean that out of our system. And secondly, we have to purify ourselves both in thought, our speech, our hearing, our touching, and our eyes when it comes to girls. Sorry. So stay away from 20-year-old blondes. And pistachio ice cream. It's a big issue for some. Okay? Then, the Ramchal tells us there are 3 things that we should remove from our personality. Ready? What are they, Hunter?
Haughtiness, anger, and jealousy.
Haughtiness, anger, and jealousy. Get rid of those 3 because you don't need them. When you have haughtiness or arrogance, you think you're better than people. Or when you're angry, when you get angry, it's because things aren't going your way. Or when you're jealous because you think you should have this car or this house or that life, it means that you really don't believe in God. Because if you believe in God, that God runs the world, then you should be okay with whatever is going on. The fact that you get angry that the old lady just cut in front of you means that you think the road is yours. But it's not. And it's okay. So just slow down. You don't have to tell her she's number 1. Because a lot of people tell her that she's number 1. Right? Isaac, do you want to say something or just scratching the forehead?
I just had a question because I was wondering how one deals with the disconnect between logic and emotion, because logically you can run through a situation that makes you angry or something, or sad or whatever, and you've got it all figured out in your head just fine, like that things are okay, but your anger is still there for however long.
That's what Ramchal tells you to get over it. Just stop it.
Stop. But it's emotion that's like...
Yes, but the Torah tells us that one of the areas that we need to work on is the ability to control your emotions. And I give the example of you're driving. This is you driving. Nobody drives like this, but if I went like this, you're driving, right? Doesn't look good on camera. So you're driving and a cop pulls you over. You're angry because you want to go where you need to go. Do you feel the anger? Are you going to express it? Are you going to tell the cop exactly what his mother did for a living? No, you won't. You're going to be really nice to him. Good morning, officer. How are you? Right? You're not going to tell him, what the? You're not. You're going to be super nice. You're going to try to talk yourself out of a ticket, right? And if it doesn't work, you're going to take the ticket, sign it, and thank him and send him on his way. You're going to say, thank you, officer. Right?
Right, but you still have the
So
base
wait.
anger.
No. Trust me. So what do you do about this anger? It stays there, and what? Next time you see cops, you want to curse at them? No. Yes.
All right.
Remind me your name?
Alan.
Yes, Alan.
All right, so that's just like moments where you get angry. But what if it's like you keep building up? Like, let's say your entire lifestyle, your daily, like every single day, there's something that like makes you angry. It's either your work life or your family life or whatever it is. Like, there's certain moments in every single. It builds up on you.
It shouldn't build up. Why are you angry?
Not let it build up.
Why are you angry?
For whatever reason, you're just.
What's the reason?
You're having a bad day at work, and you have a bad day at work every single day.
Yeah, but there are ways to settle down.
Let's think about, go a step further. The reason you're really getting angry in every situation that you're getting angry is because things are not going the way you want. Correct?
Yeah.
So your anger is telling me that you believe the world has to run according to Alan. But the world doesn't run according to Alan. It doesn't.
It's too bad.
No. It's actually, it's the best thing. The world doesn't run according to me either. The world runs according to God. If you align yourself to the way that God runs the world, then you'll see that even when you feel a sense of anger, you take a step back and you say, not my circus, not my monkeys.
So you're supposed to suffer?
No, it's not suffering.
It's not suffering when you recognize that there's something here for me to see. Listen, Do you think I'm happy running into a bomb shelter with my kids in the middle of Shabbos? But I don't get anger about that. I understand that it's happening for one reason, because God wants it, allows it to happen. Do I know why? Not exactly. But I can say that I can learn something from it. And that's how you should focus when something bad happens to you. Because things are going to happen to you. Like a friend of mine one time was driving, this was in LA, and he did a California stop. Do you know what a California stop is? When you get to a stop sign, instead of stopping, you just roll through. It was 3 a.m., he rolled through this little side street, and what happened? Woo! Cops. The cop goes to his car. He says to him, do you know why I stopped you? And he says, no. He says, did you see the stop sign back there? He says, yeah. He says, well, he says, what? I stopped. He said, are you sure you stopped? He says, yeah, I saw the stop sign. I stopped and and he says, you sure? He said, listen, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. There was no cars, no lights. Slow down a little bit. So he said, wait a second. Did you stop or you slow down? He says, listen, stop, slow down. It's the same thing. It's 3 a.m. The cop got angry at him, took out the baton, and started banging on his head. And you know what he said to him? You want me to stop or you want me to slow down? Right? Is there a difference between the two? There is a difference. But he got it all wrong. He had lumps. We call them lumpy. It's a joke. Didn't really happen. We're like, what? What? All right.
Rabbi, so when it comes to going to the bomb shelter, yeah, you might think it's mad, but is that testo yom or not?
Absolutely.
No, should you not go?
Why? No. You have a mitzvah v'shamartem v'shetechem
If you're
me'od.
supposed to die, you'll die anyway.
Yeah.
So what?
But you're supposed to take precautions so that you don't die.
Right.
You don't live passively, basically.
No, you have a mitzvah to protect yourself. So does that mean that you're going to go into Gaza and go like this? Hit me!
No, obviously not. But I'm saying
And try to stop bullets?
if a rocket's going to come all the way from here to here, I mean, you might as well just keep doing
You have to do what you have to do, which is to protect yourself. Is it something I said? No, you sure? Okay, good. Yeah, Alex.
I know this question's going to maybe annoy you. I want to ask it anyway.
Please.
Thank you. What do you do, right? So let's say you have this person and he constantly does stuff and he knows exactly what he's doing to get to you. So for example, he'll push certain buttons inside you to annoy you. Yeah. What can you say, what can you do to stop, do you know what I mean? Like, what can you do to remove that?
Why do you have connection to this person?
Yeah, why would you hang out with him?
To tell me to stop.
Right hook to the jaw. Yeah, just wait.
No violence. No, but why are you hanging out with a guy that is doing this to you?
Right, so let's say...
No, it's your family. It's your second cousin's wife's brother. That you have to be nice to. No, I mean, when somebody does something to me constantly, there are two things that I can do. One, you either change the way that I react to the person, or say to the person, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, goodbye. Take it easy.
What, so on a Wednesday morning you'll say something that annoys you, Shabbat Shalom?
You know what I mean? Shabbat Shalom in a sense, goodbye, leave me alone. Listen, go climb another tree. Go climb another tree. Unless it's your child, you can't do that. Because they'll really climb another tree. And then you're going to have to go get them. All right. No, Chas v'shalom. Electric shock. They have little collars and you press a button. Alan, I have to teach, You guys want to have questions, that's fine. I don't mind. But you had your hand up.
I was just going to say that I think it's a lot easier to, like in the yeshiva lifestyle, when you're in an environment where you don't have as many distractions. I know for most of us, or for me at least, I'm going to go back to school in the States. There's going to be a lot of distractions. There's going to be a lot of...
Pistachio ice cream.
Exactly.
Everywhere.
So what... when it's not possible to kind of when you're in your environment, when you're not around stuff like that.
So the Ramchal says, the Ramchal tells us that the number one cause one of the few causes, but this is a big one, that causes people to start dropping levels in their moral behavior and moral virtues is the environment in which they live. You chose the environment. You chose it. And you're going back to it by choice. It's a choice. That is, people think, well, I have to go back. I'm sorry. You don't have to. You're making a choice. It's calculated. It might be to your benefit, long-term, short-term, whatever it is. But you make a choice. Can you have the same level of connection as you have here? No. No. Is it possible to have some connection? Yes. How so? So I would say the number one is to study every day. That is, to take time in the day, every day, that you take a time and to learn Torah. Not by yourself only, but with somebody. So that you are connected to the Torah, that it frames your day. So that during let's say before you start your day, you go to Minyan and you learn a little bit. It doesn't have to be 5 hours. It could be 30 minutes. It could be 20 minutes. And the same thing in the evening, so that you have sort of a box. That you're boxing the day by saying, okay, I'm focusing. I'm refocusing. And it's very important for you to keep in mind why you're doing what you're doing. What is the goal? Ask yourself, what is the purpose of my life? If my purpose of my life is to have fun, then you're in the wrong business. What is the goal? What is my life all about? And you keep that straight in your mind and don't let the pistachio ice cream get all over your shirt, you should be okay. Is it 100%? No. But I think it's something that is doable. It's not easy. It's much easier to be here. You don't have to worry about kashrus. You don't have to worry about Shabbos. You don't have to worry about lots of different things. Correct. That's why guys come here, they go back, and they say, you know what? I need to go back to yeshiva. Because this is how I want to live my life. This is what's important to me. And this type of environment is going to help me. So I'm going to go do a semester and then come back. Do a few weeks. Then go do another semester and come back in the summer. In the sense that I am coming back and filling up and try to keep it. It's not going to be at the same level. It's not. But it is what it is.
Right. I think that it's definitely possible to reach the same level. It'll take a lot more work, but I think it's possible to reach the same level.
Okay. All right. Batzlacha Rabba. I'll give you a bracha for it. Amen. Well, if you think you can do it, that's great. I can't. But this helps me.
It's definitely possible.
See, if you're like this, and if you grew a beard down to here, right, and walk around with a hat like this, you wouldn't have a problem with pistachio ice cream. Nobody would come near you, right?
Probably.
And you just go plot, learn here, go do da 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 da, and then you're like, okay, good. No one's gonna bother you. They think you're gonna be the crazy one. It's you and the Bible thumper in the middle of the quad, screaming that Jesus loves you. Right? You guys all have that in your universities?
No, he tells us Jesus hates us.
Oh, yeah.
Yours, he hates you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They hate everyone that's not them. Like, literally, they have a sign. It's like, I hate, like, I'm not even gonna, like, say it, but, like, just, like, every single person.
Jews!
Gays. Everything.
Listen, I think it takes a lot of energy to build a religion based on hate. But it requires a lot more energy to keep it going. And we see it. We're surrounded by people who hate us. Surrounded. It's not new. All right, Alan, can I go or do you want, go ahead, I'll give you the floor. What do you want to ask? But it better be a good question. If not, you're cleaning the whole base midrash.
Alright, I'll take the risk.
What?
I'll take the risk.
Go.
How does the whole anger thing work with disciplining your kids? Like,
Fake it. You fake being angry.
but I don't see how that's possible.
What?
How can you, like...
What are you talking about?
You see your...
No, listen to me. Don't ever speak like that again. Why? Why can't I fake it? It worked on you. You should have seen your face. You're like, what? It works.
That's good acting. But you're just like, doing it with me, you know? Like,
What? But I can do it with my kids too.
What if your little kid, like, you know, whatever, he goes, he He's like 5 years old.
Yeah.
Touch fire.
Yeah.
He touches the fire.
You fake anger. That's the whole point. You fake it.
But you teach your kids never to be angry, and then you fake anger at them.
No, it's not a question. The anger has a role to play in educational situations, but not just to get angry because life isn't going my way.
Right, but you teach them.
So you show them if you have to. If you have to, the Ramchal says, if it comes to a situation where you need to show children anger, fake it. Should you have anger in you? No.
But I'm saying, so then they know that you're faking.
It's, when they get older, they know that you're faking it. Yeah, but not when they're young. When they're young, they're like,
Yeah.
I mean, they
But
can
in
catch
that case,
on.
when they're young, you're teaching them not to be angry. But
no, the goal is, in the beginning, you can't really teach them not to be angry. What you're teaching them is,
Don't touch fire.
don't touch this, don't do that, don't do this, or that, you know. But there are people who say in order to get to anger, that is to show anger, the situation's got to be really, really bad. If you never yell at your kids or hit them or anything, and you tell them, I'm very disappointed in your decision. Sometimes that's very powerful. You know, if everything goes well and you've never heard your father say, walk to your room and say, you know, your decision that you made, I'm very disappointed. And leave it in the air, that's going to harm you more than if he came and said, what the, what were you thinking?
What if
You know.
you're dealing with a bad seed?
Bad seed. Alan, you're not a bad seed, you're a good person. Don't worry.
Let's say not me, but
Let's say.
my friend.
Hey, my friend. What's his name? Alan.
So he,
Does he speak Russian?
yeah,
Yeah.
but he's got blue eyes.
Oh, thank God. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to tell you apart. Yeah, what about him?
So he's just plain and simple. He's a bad kid. His parents
There is no such thing as a bad kid. The behavior is bad, not the person.
Okay,
We're not dealing with Hitler. Right? When children act out, and they are not doing it because they're evil. They're doing it because there's something else going on. And it's not simply a matter of attention. There's something going on that the child is processing that is choosing to make these decisions. And the question is, how do you change their behavior? For example, like when one of my kids did something the other, I don't remember, it wasn't too long ago, did something that they expected that I would be furious. And instead, I did like this whole comedy act. I got into this character, and they couldn't understand. Like either they had this phase like either he doesn't understand what we did, or something is going on that's going to be really, really bad. They are trying to get your reaction out of you, and you decide what reactions to give them. Children will try to get you angry. They will try to annoy you. They will. Question is, do you want to be annoyed? So sometimes I want to pretend that I'm annoyed. Sometimes I'm really annoyed because I'm not perfect. But a lot of times I notice, I say, okay, you're trying to suck me into that garbage disposal. But I'm not doing it. So what does prishut mean? Prishut, abstinence, says that we are going to limit our enjoyment of this world, even in areas where the rabbis tell us we can enjoy it. What does that mean? He says, for example, food and drink, right? We've got in Judaism lots of rules with regard to what we can eat and what cannot eat, correct? What do we call those?
Kashrut.
Kashrut, very good. Can we eat a pork sandwich?
Yes, you can.
If a rabbi blesses it first, right?
Does a bris on it, you mean? So, can you eat pork?
Yes, you can.
Should you?
Only if it saves your life.
Should you eat it?
Only if it saves your life.
And if it doesn't,
Then you should.
you should not eat pork. Right. So if you have a glad kosher chicken sandwich with parv, everything, no cheese, with kosher bread, everything is 100% glad. Should you eat it if you're hungry?
Yeah.
Yes. Make a bracha, wash your hands, and you eat it. Good. Tells us the Ramchal, he says, even when you get rid of all the Yisrei Achila, all the laws of kashrut, whatever piece of food that you have in front of you checks out. Everything's fine. He says, the point is that if you fill your stomach with it, it would lead you to abandon your connection to God. Eating, when you fill yourself up beyond what you need, that you're eating with your eyes, is going to cause you to reach a level of prikat ol, removing the yoke of heaven from you. Right? Yirat Shamayim is what helps you put the yoke of the mitzvot on you, connecting one class to another. Whereas eating, gluttony, we remove the mitzvahs from us. And he explains, same thing with drinking wine. Are you allowed to drink kosher wine? Yes. Should you? Says the Ramchal, when you drink wine, it brings harlotry and all sorts of other things. So a person who gets himself used to satiate himself from food and drink, and once he doesn't have it, it would pain him and he would feel it. And he would put himself in a situation where he's going to work very hard. Why? Because he wants to have this best food possible. He's not going to buy the cheapest burgers that there are in the market. He wants Omaha Steak kosher burgers. He wants the gourmet burgers. Because a man like him, not a chump, he wants the good stuff. He wants steak, not just any steak. He wants this stuff of steak that you put on the grill like this and it comes out like this. Now that is a serious steak, right? So he says from there, then he would be more apt to sin and to steal and to make false vows and other things. And he would remove himself from praying to God and from studying Torah, all those sort of things. Why? Because he is chasing or pursuing bodily pleasures that will lead him eventually to more and more problems. So if we are able to live a life which is called a simple life, should you eat? Absolutely. But eat in moderation. Control yourself. You don't have to have 2 gallons of pistachio ice cream and mint. 2 scoops is enough. Right? 2 scoops is enough.